Mr. Jalen Jackson. Patrick Mahomes is taking on one of the young kings in CJ Stroud right now. But I'll tell you what, man, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. People ain't respecting these Houston Texans, dog. Everybody's talking about, oh, there's 7 teams that belong in the playoffs, and guess who's not the other one? The Houston Texans. They got no business in this game. They are also an 8.5-point underdog on the road at Arrowhead, 41.5 on the over-under. Well, let's talk about the spread really quick. Do you believe the Kansas City Chiefs are 9 points better this weekend than the Houston Texans?
I don't know if they're 9 points better, and I don't know if they're 3 points better now, Riggs.
Ooh.
So if you look at the Chiefs, man, just so many close games. And this is I find it an advantage when two teams play each other in the regular season. So these guys went up against each other, later in the season. Stroud was already struggling. Patrick Mahomes obviously had already lost his big-time weapons. He didn't have Hollywood yet. Rashee Rice was already out. And this was another game that the Chiefs won by 1 possession, and it got real close at the end. I think they won by 8, which coincidence spread this week is 8.5.
Isn't that interesting?
So now, you take the only difficult part here is now with Hollywood back, it just opens up so much more for this Chiefs offense. Kelsey can start getting so much more room to wiggle free when you have a speedster that you got to respect like that on the outside. But at the same time, Stroud looks so much better than he has all season long last week. And he was going against a damn good defense in the Chargers defense. The big thing is going to be if the Texans defense can replicate what they did last week. The pass rush has got to get home, which was something that they did a phenomenal job with last week. They got to Herbert a lot, 4 picks. Stingley had 2. Stingley's going to be busy. I think he's going to be following Hollywood around a lot. And if they can find a way to get to Pat Mahomes, that's the bread and butter of trying to stop the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got to get a pass rush. You've got to make Pat uncomfortable. When he's got these weapons back, it makes him a lot more dynamic in their pass game. Both of their running backs are obviously healthy now in Pacheco and Hunt. So it's going to be, the question of if the defense is going to come to play and if Stroud is going to have that same type of demeanor, that same type of go get him through the air with Nico Collins that he did last week. And I think that the Texans can go ahead and cover that spread.
Well, I'll ask you in just a minute about your score projection because I got a little feeling here you might shock the world. But with that said, I want to talk really quickly about this defense. Obviously, you mentioned it. Got to get pressure on Mahomes in this game here. A combined 4 sacks for the boys last week. You mentioned the interceptions. Stingley Jr. taking 2 of them. Murray taking an interception. Lassiter taking an interception. They were all over the field in that game there. And I got to be honest with you, brother, and this is no secret. Mahomes has not been the safest guy with the ball this season. To be fair, when they were winning games, I remember we were all sitting there, we were like, bro, he's not a top 5 quarterback right now, though. Like, you can say whatever you want, but the stats say, oh, well, he's thrown just as many picks as he has interceptions. What was he? 6 for 6, and then he was 9 for 9, and then he started to kind of grow the gap a little bit. But it was kind of sketchy throughout most of the year here, and I'm with you. If they get after Mahomes, make him uncomfortable, that's what the Raiders do all the time. The Raiders suck, but somehow the Raiders hang in games because they bring pressure on Patrick Mahomes against the Chiefs. So with all that said, I'm the only human being on earth, it seems, that was not surprised when the Chargers got stopped last week. I've been fading that team, so I wasn't shocked by it. However, I want to give the Texans credit for not just winning, but winning by 20 points as a 3-point dog. Obviously very impressive here. However, they were at home in a nice, cozy 72-degree dome with a little sun coming through the window. Now they're going to be outside in Arrowhead, and Lord knows, we've heard the players talk about it. The hardest place to play, which I think it's kind of bullshit. I think it's because Mahomes is on the field, but whatever. They all say it's the hardest place to go play football. Well, if that's true, then I'm concerned for the Houston Texans because they've kind of struggled on the road this year a little bit, especially when they're playing on the road outdoors. Kind of like Jared Goff a little bit, you know what I mean? Like the dude looks so good when he's got it all inside in a dome, but then it kind of gets sketchy outside. So I'm a little concerned. However, You nailed it with the 8 points, my brother. They looked at what happened last time and said, yeah, let's just take the hook. We're good. You know what I mean? Let's make everybody make a decision. I think 8 points is too many as well. I think this game is going to be closer than people think. I think this is a 5 minutes left. It's a one-score game. I think Houston's going to be in this game. However, I will say, coming off a 20-point victory, they will not do that to Kansas City. They will either win this game by 4 points or less, or they will get done to them what they did to the Chargers. One of the two is going to happen here. But I'm going to go ahead and meet you right in the middle there. I'm going to say 8 points is probably smack dab on the money. So my score projection, I'm going to go 24-16. Kansas City Chiefs get this done. I don't want them to, and I'll be honest with you, there's this little piece of me that I'm probably going to sprinkle on that money line just a little bit because everyone just looks at Kansas City and the Detroit Lions this week like they're free money. And you know what? Maybe they are, but I've been around the betting game long enough to learn my lessons and know when there's red flags, and there's a red flag here. So the Chiefs got the refs on their team as well. So it's going to be hard for the Texans to win this game, but I think 8.5 points is just way too many points to leave on the board here, even if they lose by 8. 8 is a football number. Give me that. 24-16. What's your score projection here?
I'm liking that. I was thinking Chiefs right around that 24-27 range. I was thinking final score, Chiefs get it done 27-23, 4-point win.
So CJ Stroud, ball in hand, end of the game, doesn't get it done?
I think it's vice versa. Texans go up.
Ooh.
Texans are in the lead last couple minutes.
I like that.
And the Mahomes magic comes out, and maybe a little bit of that black magic that they be using with the referees too. You know what I'm saying? But I think that they go down the field and they
was that a PI? He breathed on him.
Yeah.
PI, Butker, we're in range. Yeah,
he poked me, ref. That's roughing the quarterback. He can't do that.
Yep.
You know how it goes with them, man.
I'm him.
Yeah,
exactly, man.
What'd he say? You woke up the wrong motherfucker. That's what he said to Max Crosby.
Yeah, and
who knows, dog?
He's real salty that he's not a Pro Bowl quarterback, and it's like, dog, you're not. I mean, you can't tell me that you're not.
Respectfully, in your career, of course you are. Of course you are. But dude, it's a season award.
That's right.
And if you think you're top 5 right now, no offense, my brother, you're not. So with that said, that could be all the motivation he needs though to go out here and just whoop their ass. Because once again, everyone is talking about the Texans like they don't belong here. So guys, I will say that makes them dangerous. I know the Broncos didn't get it done. The Steelers didn't get it done. But there's something about playing with house money, man, when no one thinks you got a chance. Kind of like Houston did last week. No one thinks you have a chance. You got nothing to lose. Go out there, run some trick plays, go for it on 4th down on your own 40. Who gives a damn? Go for 2 at the end of the game. Like, go for it. Go for the win. If D'Amico Ryans, with no time left, has a chance to kick a PAT to tie it at Arrowhead or win the game on a 2-point conversion, I love him. But if you've watched enough football, you ain't trying to go to overtime with these guys. They don't lose, right? You go for 2. Is there any human on earth that's going to be like, what an idiot? No. And if you do say that, that's that hindsight 2020 BS that I don't like anyway. Oh, well, looking back on it, in that moment, I'll be like, 2, let's go, run them out there. You know what I mean? Just don't make a stupid play call. So with all that said, all right, guys, there you go. We are taking the Kansas City Chiefs to get this done, but most importantly, our pick on this game is the Texans to go ahead and cover the 8.5. Good luck to everybody in that game. That is game number 1 of the 4 games on the board.